All right. So, good morning. What kind of doctor fixes broken websites? No? No, Patrick? Oh. No answer? All right, come up to me afterwards and ask. All right. So, welcome to NANOG 68. We're here in, unfortunately, not so sunny this morning, Dallas, Texas, but it looks like the weather's going to be great later. Who here remembers the last time we were here in Dallas? How long ago was that? 4 years. You guys nailed it. It was also an election meeting as well, October. Since the last time we were here, a lot has happened, but even since the last NANOG meeting, right? So the ICANN transition's begun, or was approved, I should say. We've seen record-breaking DDoS attacks, and the conversation has finally shifted away from CGN to, hey, we actually have to do this IPv6 thing. So that's great for all of us. In October, we also remember the loss of some of the great contributors in the NANOG family. So John Postel and Abba. I didn't know them personally. I do feel their impact every day. I know that everyone else in this room does. So just a note of remembrance. But now we come together and we talk about the future. If those who are here from the college immersion program could raise your hands. Give you a round of applause. These people are the future of our industry, right? So we're talking about all kinds of important stuff. They're here to learn. They're here to be immersed in what we're talking about. They're also here to add a valuable perspective. It's easy to dismiss the academic community from time to time as being idealistic, but at the end of the day, much of the achievements that we've seen in our industry have come from that route. So if you see one of them, please say hi, please introduce yourselves, please tell them what you do, please tell them how you got here, and please ask them how they got here, and offer them whatever assistance they might need. If they're of age, please buy them a drink. And so with that, I'd like to introduce Ryan Donnelly. He's the chair of the NANOG Election Committee to give an update about elections.
Thanks, Dave. All right. Oops, wait. Perfect. Okay. How many of you guys in the room are members? Please raise your hands. Wow. Perfect. Good. Then this message is for you. So as you guys probably know, October is election season when we elect new members to the NANOG Board of Directors. So if you're a member, you should have got an email last night with instructions on how to vote. If you guys have any challenges with that or questions, please seek out either myself, one of the professional staff in the person of Betty Burke or Val Whitcop, or any of the other two individuals listed on the elections committee there, which are Greg Dendy and Dan Golding. You can vote from today, right now, through 11 a.m., I'm sorry, I believe that's noon actually, on Wednesday, October 19th, Central Time. We will do candidate intros today from 2 to 3 p.m. I believe it's in this room, so I highly recommend you guys attend, show up, be prepared to ask questions, and make sure that you understand who you're voting for and why. Election results will be posted after lunch on Wednesday. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions about the election or the candidates in general, there's a URL posted right there for you. Please visit that. That has candidate bios as well as instructions for voting. So please vote early and often. Thank you guys very much. And next up, I believe we have John Kern to talk about even more elections.
Thank you, Ryan. There is an Aaron election coming up, but that's actually not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is NANOG attendees. If you're an attendee in this meeting, you are automatically registered to be able to vote in something called the NRO Number Council seat election. There's 3 of these seats that represent the region when developing global policies. One of them is up, and NANOG attendees have the ability to vote. You're going to get an email later today. When you get the email, you can click on the link and vote. This is to vote as an individual for the representative who will help work on global number policies within the ICANN framework, and we call that the NRO Number Council. It's also called the ASO Advisory Council. If you have any questions, Aaron has a booth downstairs. Come out, ask us questions. Thank you.
Thanks, John. All right, so as I said, welcome. Registration is strong. This meeting is way larger than the last meeting we had here in Dallas and continues the trend. Are we over 1,000 at this point? We are over 1,000 at this point. So that is crazy large. One thing that's always important are, obviously, even though we've got these large meetings, we still have to pay for them. And we've kept registration fees low, but as part of that, we need people to help put on the cost of this meeting and give you all the benefits that not only members but also just the general attendees get. The great breakfast you had this morning, lunch that you'll have later, the various social events that we have around the meeting, so Peering Personals this evening, which we've spoken about, as well as beer and gear. But you'll notice that we keep that out of this room, right? So the content that's here is presented by people who have submitted those talks to our independent program committee. Program committee is not under the guise of anyone, really. It doesn't answer directly to the board, aside from organizationally. But for content, they are free to vet and free to pick what you see here. And so Sean will come up in a few minutes and speak about the importance of the program and what it took for them to put that together for this meeting and what to expect. But I do want to specifically thank all of the sponsors that came together to put this meeting. We have many premium sponsors who sponsor meeting after meeting on a yearly basis. We have individual sponsors who sponsor specific things within each meeting, like Peering Personals, like beer and gear, like the espresso bar, like lunches, so on and so forth, and all the way down through people who sponsor the actual connectivity, and of course our host. And so with that, I'd like to introduce our host for this meeting, Josh Snowhorn from CyrusOne.
Thank you, Dave. So this is the really fun part of hosting a meeting. You get to go up and present whatever the hell you feel like, and you guys have to watch it. It's kind of cool. But I paid for this, so I'm allowed to do that. So this NANOG logo, does anybody know what this is? Any guesses? Oil. So you're in Dallas. Big giant oil history here. Before that was cotton and cattle. My family's actually been in Dallas since 1887. Pretty amazing history here, and so I feel very much part of that. Very honored to host here. The Pegasus was actually on top of the Mobile Oil building and represents their logo still to this day. This is a version of it, so be proud and wear it. That's why you have oil on your shirt. The obligatory network diagram. Thank you, AT&T. Big applause for AT&T for giving us connectivity, guys. I still don't know why I have to do this obligatory network diagram, but in all the NANOGs I've done, I've had to do it, so it's obligatory. I've actually hosted more than 10% of all NANOGs in my life in this industry, in my previous job and now my third time with CyrusOne. I'm really proud of that. It's been an honor, and I've made some great friends. Some of my best friends really in the world are in this audience, people I've grown up with, done business with, and gotten very drunk with a lot. But it's been a great experience, so just thank you to everybody who's been a part of that. Vince Cerf's going to be here. That's pretty freaking cool. Now, a lot of you don't know Vint. Vint's been around, pops into NANOGs here and there, but he's a great guy. But this is an old picture and still looking very dapper, and he's now dapper. But it's going to be pretty neat to see him giving a keynote on Wednesday, so definitely pay attention to that. Tim Berners-Lee, if anybody knows Tim, some of you guys do, a lot of you do in this audience. That's actually the very first World Wide Web server. I actually got to see that at CERN. That's a next box, and it actually says this is a web server, do not power down. A big honor for both these guys is really our jobs and everything we do today, everything, all the 1,000+ people that exist because of these guys and what they've done. Scientists who just wanted to communicate and create some cool things for search, so pretty neat. And what has that created? Internet usage around the world. Any security hacks out here? There's probably a few. This is a botnet. Everybody like botnets? Probably not, but this actually is pretty neat. They did a test, took a big botnet and actually measured traffic flows around the world, just showing that we actually operate a 24-hour business now. What we do is really pretty amazing and really never sleeps. So, who the bleep is CyrusOne? And I get to attribute this to one of your future elected possible candidates here, Patrick Gilmore, and we know what bleep means. So when I went to join CyrusOne about 4.5 years ago, I left from Terramark, which is now part of Verizon, and I was at the Peering BOF and announced it, and that was Patrick's comment. So everybody can appreciate that. So who is CyrusOne? So this is the big marketing slide. We have over 900 customers, 9 of the Fortune 20, over 170 of the Fortune 1000. We really serve the Fortune 1000, oil and gas, financials. Most of the large content companies and cloud companies are our customers, mostly in the US, and we are building literally millions of square feet at a time, and you'll see a demonstration of that in a second. Big focus is building data centers. What I run is the interconnection side, making sure that all those customers can reach cloud, reach content, reach network, reach other data centers for active-active replication and good stuff like that. So this is a little demo of, if Val gets it going here, of a time lapse of a data center we built up in Virginia, over 200,000 square feet. And this is actually 30 megawatts that went up in 180 days, which, as far as we know in the industry of building data centers, is a record. This was for a single customer who bought it all at once and wanted to move in immediately. So we had to build this thing incredibly quickly. And it's always fun to watch these things to actually see how quick those goes up. And notice the number of generators there, guys. So that's 30 megawatts of backup going in a full 2N architecture. So pretty impressive. So pretty proud of what we do. This is a data center we've acquired up in Aurora outside of Chicago. This is Chicago Mercantile Exchange data center, 92 megawatts of power at 2N. This is the matching engine for the futures market for the entire world. It does 4 times the volume of the New York Stock Exchange, about $2 quadrillion a year, and has diverse long haul from downtown Chicago. So we're excited about this. We're building over 1 million square feet adjacent to this, and we'll continue to grow that ecosystem out there for the high frequency trading and exchange world. Just a quick demo of architecture. We build a true 4-block 2N architecture in all of our data centers. Everything's up all the time. Again, this is Fortune 1000s, must be up all the time no matter what. It's not stuff, it's not a cache that can go away. This is a big, giant production environment for some of the biggest companies in the world. But a data center without connectivity is like a car without wheels. This happens to be a car in Cuba, go figure, which you can now go visit. And I think Dave has, right? Yep. Yeah. So what do we do on the connectivity side? This is a demonstration of what we did with CME. We actually put in dual DWDM platforms, edge Ethernet access, taking the data center itself and linking it back into 350 CERMAC and other sites. We can continue to grow that, extend data centers, and create an extension of the ecosystem which breaks any walled garden. Taking metros like you would do in Europe with AM6 and links and DKICs and actually making that part of our ecosystem here in the US. So that's a big focus of what I do at CyrusOne. What that allows our customers to do is access all the content and network and things that make the internet work. And a lot of these guys are our customers already, but if they're not, or if those networks aren't, or if they aren't able to be there, we actually tap into those ecosystems at the carrier hotels for an enterprise who would never co-locate inside that environment. So a couple of quick announcements. Tonight there's a big social over at the Perot Museum. It's about 1.5 blocks away. It's really, really cool. Kind of looks like a Mies van der Rohe kind of architecture. We've got Wolfgang Puck catering. We've got circus performers going on. It's going to be pretty cool. I'd like to announce GPF. Invitation only. You must be a peering coordinator to attend. I know there's not 1,000 peering coordinators here, so you'll see your invitations come. But that's actually going to be in New York City, April 24th through 27th. And then the OpenIX AGM in New York City on November 1st. So if you are a member or want to become a member of OpenIX, please go ahead and sign up and attend the AGM. And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, if anyone has been to any of Josh's socials before, you'll know that it's going to be a good time. So I highly, highly recommend you attend. And also, yeah, Cuba was fantastic. That is a fantastic analogy. I also highly recommend you go there if you have the chance before us filthy Americans ruin it. So on that note, I'd like to thank both Raj and Barry from AT&T. Also Jay, who's not represented on the slide. These guys have worked tirelessly to get us connectivity to the last few NANOG meetings. Those of you who know anything about trying to get connectivity into any sort of enterprise location that's not a data center will know that trying to get connectivity that this crowd will be happy with into a location like this is no small feat. So thanks very much to AT&T for that. And on that note, I'd like to hand it over to Sean to open the meeting. Thank you, Sean.
So thank you, Dave. So just before we get into the conference material, I just wanted to give you a real quick overview. First of all, this conference happens largely through the work of the program committee. There's 16 volunteer individuals. They're all NANOG members, and they're also part of the community, operators, vendors, other participants. As Dave said, they peer review all of the talks that are being presented. So all of the talks have been vetted and voted on, rated on by those program committee members. Additionally, since we are an operator forum, we want to invite operators to share their experiences and talk, and not all of them have experience speaking or writing slide decks. So one thing that we do that's sort of special is assign a shepherd who will work with a presenter to improve their material, add relevant topic, give feedback, and get it ready for presentation. So if you're interested in speaking at a future NANOG meeting, we'll shortly be releasing the CFP for NANOG 69 in DC. Don't be afraid to submit a submission. We'll assign a shepherd. They'll work with you to improve on that material, get it ready, and hopefully get you on the program. A couple quick notes. The agenda is online, and it's also in the guidebook application. That'll give you good information about what's happening where. This is the Regency Ballroom. We also do have sessions Tuesday and Wednesday in the Venetian Room. Sessions in here will be webcast. They'll also be recorded to put on the website later. In the Venetian Room, we will be recording sessions, but not webcasting them live. But they will be available later for folks to view, except if the speakers ask that we do not record them. I don't believe we have any. I believe all will be recorded, so you can look at them later. And one last opportunity to speak. We do have 2 lightning talk blocks at this NANOG. One is Tuesday afternoon. The other one will be Wednesday morning. Lightning talks are 10-minute brief presentations on something of current topic. You can either have slides, or if you want to wing it, you can even do that. All we ask to get in the running for that is go to the PC tool. The link's right there, pcnanog.org, and submit a brief abstract. All right, general reminders on the hotel. There's a lot of activity on this floor where we'll have the breaks, the espresso bars, breakfast and lunch, and open seating. But there also are the beer and gear and peering personals will be in the International Ballroom, and also on that same floor, the lobby level, I believe, is the Venetian Room, which will be some of our breakout sessions. A quick note, we lost a breaker at the back of the room, so there may be some of you that are in the open seating that are without power. We don't want to mess with that right now, but we will fix it at lunch and make sure that all the strips in here have power. So if you need power and you're in an area that doesn't have one, please move. We'll get it fixed at lunch. We do have posted on the website some guidelines for participating in NANOG. We also have microphone guidelines on the microphones. The intent is for you all to have fun, participate, engage, perhaps have some controversial discussion, but be respectful for others, represent your companies well, represent the NANOG community, and so we appreciate your attention to those. All right, lastly, we have the program committee works a lot to do a debrief after NANOG and look at what worked, what areas we need to improve on, what content we could add. So we do appreciate if you could fill out the daily surveys about the content, the structure of the meeting. Not only will we use that to improve NANOG for NANOG 69, we'll also give you a chance to win some of our survey giveaways. All right, thank you very much. All right, and up next, I'd like to welcome Scott Bradner, who has a long history at Harvard University designing, operating, and managing networks. He also has a huge, long volunteer history with NearNet, CoREN, the IETF, was one of the founders of AARON. So he's somebody that's shown that not only can you contribute to your local community, but as a volunteer for the larger community, you can actually change the internet. And one of the things that he has a history working with is the IANA, and he's going to present to us some of the function history and topics about the transition. So thank you, Scott.